Back when Pram was still a child, his mother told him about a sword his father gifted to her. She tells him that it is a proof of love, and as long as this sword keeps shining, his father will be thinking about them. She then hands over the sword to Pram, who gladly accepts it. This makes Pram insanely happy, as it means a lot to Pram and his mother. Suddenly, the sword starts tearing apart and eventually vanishes. This shocks Pram, as his mother keeps reminding him that his father loves them. She keeps repeating this line until Pram wakes up from his dream and starts shouting in agony. Later that day, Desir, Pram, and Romantika visit Professor Brigit's office to apply for their party. Romantika is worried if they can visit her office like this, but Desir reassures her that he confirmed this beforehand. Upon entering the room, Professor Brigit comments that they have enough members to form a party. Following this, as they sit down to have a chat, the professor offers them tea and sweets. Romantika and Pram really seem to enjoy her hospitality, but Romantika is more focused on Pram's overwhelming cuteness. Professor Brigit then questions Desir the reason behind formulating this party. Answering this, Desir tells her that he wants to get promoted to the Alpha class by winning the ranking tournament. Hearing this, the professor asks if he has any idea as to how difficult it is to win that tournament, to which Desir replies positively. Pram is also concerned about this and asks the professor. Before giving him the answer, she decides to explain the rules of the tournament. According to her, the ranking tournament is basically an exam to determine the ranks of students in each class. Both Alpha and Beta classes can participate in it, and only parties are allowed to participate. She further tells them that the exam takes the form of a battle between two parties, and the winning party's rank boosts. Hearing this, Romantika raises some concerns regarding the advantage of large parties over small ones. The professor tells her that the main objective of this tournament is to assess students' skills, and a lot of other factors are taken into consideration. The parties that manage to qualify for the final round have to undergo an exam taking place in a shadow world. The students that secure the top 9 ranks are granted the title of single rankers. She further tells them that if they can become a single ranker, they can get promoted from Beta to Alpha class. She also reminds them that not a single Beta student has ever managed to become a single ranker, and asks if they still want to compete. This demotivates Romantika and Pram, but Desir apprises that this fact alone is reason enough for them to compete. He explains the possibility of them becoming single rankers and how this would prove that the system of this academy is completely rotten. Professor also agrees with him, stating that they might become the trigger to overhaul the entire system. She then asks Romantika and Pram if they still want to join Desir's party after hearing all this. Following this, the two of them accompany Desir to a mysterious place, and on their way, they witness the training facilities allotted to the Alpha class and get jealous. On the other hand, the facilities they are provided is an old room with a creaking floor and hundreds of mice crawling all over the place. This scares Romantika and Pram as they hold on to Desir. Pram even becomes unconscious by this, as Romantika literally begs Desir to not use this room. For her, dust is not a problem, but she cannot bear mice. Desir, on the other hand, is dead set on using this room for their training and orders her to clean it as he deals with the mice. She keeps shouting and hitting Desir all this time, but has to agree in the end. After some time, Pram wakes up from his sleep, and as soon as he opens the door, he witnesses an entire new world inside. He apologizes for not being able to help, but Desir assures him that it is completely fine. Romantika wants to take a show after all this tiring work, but Desir has other plans. He tells them that they have to start training if they want to become single rankers. Back at Professor Brigit's office, when she asked Romantika and Pram if they wanted to join Desir's party, Romantika wonders that she is quite weak compared to Alpha class students, and there is no way she can become a single ranker. Seeing this, Desir teased her as she told him that she will uncover his secret, and for that, she has to join the party. Hearing this, she agrees to join the party. In the present, she regrets joining the party, but reluctantly agrees for training. In the training room, Desir draws a circle and asks Romantika to hit it using her magic. Romantika boasts that she is already pretty good with this and can handle multiple spells at once. She then utilizes Wind Strike to hit the target and asks Desir if he's impressed by this. Desir, however, asks if she can get them all to hit the exact center. Romantika tells him that it is impossible, with Desir telling her that they cannot hope to beat Alpha class if she cannot do this. Desir knows that Romantika can do this since he witnessed her in his previous life. He knows how capable she is and that she can get even stronger. Seeing her distressed face, Desir teases her, stating that if she is not confident, she can choose to remain a cleaner till she graduates. This pisses her off as she accepts the challenge. Desir knows exactly how to handle her. Desir then hands her over a ball and asks her to move it to the other circle without using her hands. He continues provoking her because this is how he can get Romantika to work even harder. He tells her to manipulate the wind around the ball to control it and visualize the wind. Romantika carefully applies his advice and manages to get the ball to float in her first attempt. This impresses Desir and he compliments her. This makes Romantika insanely happy. It is finally time for Desir to divert his attention towards Pram, who is eagerly waiting for Desir to teach him something. Much to his disappointment, Desir tells him that he cannot teach him anything and that he should be strong enough to win the ranking tournament himself. Pram, however, is not satisfied with this and looks away. Desir knows that Pram is insanely strong because the Pram he witnessed in his previous life used to tear apart enemies using a rapier. It is something he can never forget. He then questions Pram the reason behind using a great sword in his battle against that Alpha class student. He further tells him that his weapon should be something lighter, such as a rapier. Hearing this, Pram gets uncomfortable and asks if he really has to answer these questions. Desir replies positively, stating that it involves the overall stability of their party and is extremely important. With this, Pram asks Desir to accompany him to his dorm room. On their way, Pram comments that Desir really trusts Romantika, to which he replies by stating that he trusts her as much as he trusts him. This makes Pram insanely happy. Upon reaching his room, Pram tells Desir that he doesn't know what his father looks like. His mother was a commoner, but his father was a noble, and because of this, his father had to leave them eventually. The only thing he left behind was a rapier. Desir immediately recognizes the rapier as the weapon Pram used in his previous life. Pram further tells him that he learned about this sword when he was 6, and after that, he decided to take on the path of sword. He wanted to become someone worthy of wielding this sword. After some time, his mother fell gravely ill, and on her deathbed, she told Pram to never visit his father as he lives in a different world. Desir understands why she said that, because for nobles, children with commoners are considered a disgrace, and if Pram had visited his father, he would be immediately killed. Pram reveals that the reason he enrolled in this academy was to look for his father, since nobles from all around the globe come here. Before coming to the academy, he decided to get the sword appraised, but he was told that this sword has no value whatsoever. This makes Pram insanely angry as he thought that his father loved his mother. With tears rolling down his cheeks, Pram picks up the rapier and hurls it away. After this, Pram vows that he will never use that sword again. Following this, Pram continues his training with a sword, and Romantika finally manages to land the ball in the other circle. She boasts that she managed to perfect this in 3 days. But Desir ruins her moment by reminding her that the ball should stay inside the circle. Romantika gets frustrated over this as Desir approaches her and starts staring at her face. This makes her extremely uncomfortable and she starts blushing. Seeing her face, Desir remembers the artifact Dinetta gave her and immediately approaches Pram, asking if he can take a look at his sword once again. In response, Pram tells him that he doesn't care about that sword, but Desir insists that he wants to confirm something. Pram still refuses as Desir asks him one more time. Hearing this, Pram tells him that he cannot see the sword again because he already sold it. I wonder why Desir wants to see Pram's sword again. I guess he figured something out from that artifact Dinetta gave to Romantika. I know you're curious, so make sure to like and subscribe, so you don't miss out on the next video.